Have you ever wondered why a single person can hijack your thoughts day and night, whether it's an ex, a crush, or even a stranger you barely know? What if this mental cameo isn't random, but a secret signal from your unconscious mind trying to guide you? In this video, we're unlocking Carl Jung's most revealing insights, his concepts of the shadow, anima, and animus, projection, and the mystical phenomenon of synchronicity to uncover why certain people linger in your mind. Stay with us to the end, because you'll discover how to learn to identify the unconscious triggers behind obsessive thoughts and stop feeling helpless. Discover how your mind uses projection to mirror parts of yourself you've denied and practical steps to reclaim them. Dive into Jung's anima and animus archetypes to understand why you're consistently drawn to some people. Decode synchronicity, transform uncanny coincidences into actionable calls from your inner world. Master a simple three-step framework: reflect, analyze, act, that transforms mental loops into a roadmap for self-discovery and change. By the end, you'll not only understand why someone won't leave your mind, but also have a clear, actionable plan to transform these thoughts into fuel for growth. Ready to unlock your unconscious? Let's dive in. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. The shadow theory? A mirror you can't escape. Meet your shadow, not the one that follows you on a sunny sidewalk, but the one that trails you in silence, deep inside your soul. This isn't some spooky metaphor, it's real, raw, and more relevant than most people care to admit. Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist who first brought this to light, defined the shadow as the hidden part of yourself, the thoughts, traits, desires, and instincts you've buried over the years because they didn't match the image you wanted the world to see. In truth, your shadow is everything you've repressed, denied, or disowned, simply to feel accepted, to be loved, or to avoid judgment. And here's where it gets deeply uncomfortable yet strangely fascinating. The people who linger in your thoughts, the ones who trigger you, intrigue you, or leave you feeling unsettled, they might not be random at all. They might be walking reflections of the very pieces of yourself you've cast aside. That admiration you feel for someone's boldness could be your own silent confidence, calling out for revival. That irresistible pull towards someone's creativity? It could be your long-forgotten dreams, knocking on the door of your awareness. And the person who grates on your nerves with their arrogance or reckless behavior? Maybe, just maybe, they're embodying parts of you that you're still too ashamed to confront. To me, this is both terrifying and liberating. It forces us to realize that our relationships aren't just about them. They're about us, our unspoken wounds, our buried desires, our unresolved contradictions. Jung believed that people serve as mirrors, and when someone takes up residence in your mind, it might not be about them at all. It might be your unconscious pleading with you, please stop running. Look at me. Hear me. Heal me. I'll be honest, when I first learned about the shadow, I resisted it. Who wants to admit that the things they judge in others might live inside themselves? But once I stopped resisting and started listening, I realized how much power and freedom lie in owning those dark corners. The shadow isn't a monster to slay, it's a part of you crying out for integration. Instead of obsessing over why you can't stop thinking about someone, or why they irritate you so much, try asking yourself, what part of me are they showing me? What lesson am I being invited to learn here? This shift in perspective has changed my life. It's made my inner world richer, my self-awareness deeper, and my relationships far more authentic. The truth is, you can't be whole until you meet your whole self. And that includes the parts you've labeled unworthy, ugly, weak, or wrong. Jung said it best, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. That's where real transformation begins, not by chasing perfection, but by embracing imperfection with honesty, compassion, and courage. So, I challenge you, make space for your shadow, sit with it, Listen to it. Let it teach you what you've been too afraid to learn. Because on the other side of that discomfort is a version of you that's more complete, more grounded, and more powerful than you ever imagined. Anima and animus, the inner relationship. Let's dive into two of Jung's most soul-stirring concepts, the anima and the animus. In my view, these archetypes are nothing short of miraculous mirrors inside us, reflecting the tender, often unspoken aspects of our psyche. The anima embodies the inner feminine in men, our capacity for intuition, vulnerability, and emotional richness, while the animus represents the inner masculine in women, our drive for action, logic, and assertive strength. But here's the thing I love about Jung's vision. These aren't rigid gender box traits. They're symbolic energies that everyone carries, regardless of identity or background. So why does this matter when someone won't get out of your head? According to Jung, the person who's haunting your thoughts resonates with your anima or animus in a way that feels deeply electric. Maybe you find yourself inexplicably drawn to their compassionate warmth because it awakens the softness you've kept locked away. Or perhaps you're captivated by someone's bold ambition because it speaks to a fearless courage you secretly crave. When you notice your heartbeat quickening at their presence, whether online, in conversation, or even in passing, it's not just chemistry or chance. It's an echo of your inner landscape calling out. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And yet, here's a twist that still blows my mind. The anima and animus can weave illusions so powerful that you mistake projection for reality. You might paint an idealized portrait of someone, romanticizing every gesture and word, seeing them as the perfect embodiment of what your unconscious yearns for. And when the real person inevitably falls short, those illusions can shatter into confusion, disappointment, or even heartbreak. Understanding this dance between projection and archetype can be transformative. It reframes the question from, why can't I stop thinking about them, to what hidden part of myself are they bringing to life? Suddenly, those sleepless nights become opportunities to explore your depths. The people who occupy our thoughts aren't just random mental guests, they're intimate guides, inviting us to uncover the most authentic, powerful dimensions of our souls. The concept of projection, when your inner world becomes their reality. Let's dive into something downright astonishing. Projection. Carl Jung proposed that so much of what we feel, our judgments, our crushes, our resentments, has almost nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with our hidden landscape. Projection is like hosting a private screening in your mind, where your deepest hopes, fears, and frustrations play out on the faces of everyone you meet. Picture this. You meet someone brimming with ambition, and you instantly admire their drive. On the surface, it feels like you're celebrating them. But in reality, that admiration is a lens revealing your untapped potential, or worse, your guilt over letting your goals stall. Conversely, you might find yourself inexplicably irritated by someone's constant need for approval, only to realize it mirrors your secret hunger for outside validation. That moment of recognition can sting, but it's also electrifying. I'll admit, the first time I caught myself projecting, it felt like a gut punch. I blamed a friend's stubbornness for every failed plan, until one afternoon I paused and thought, wait, why am I so furious about this? It hit me. I was furious at my inability to commit. Projecting lets me externalize my disappointment instead of owning it. And honestly, it was a relief to see that the person ruining my day was a mirror reflecting my unfinished business. Here's the tricky magic of projection. Those feelings you pin on others seem so vivid that they almost feel factual. You'll swear, she's so judgmental, when the truth is, you're terrified of criticism yourself. Or you'll gush, he's so creative, while secretly mourning the part of you that's been too scared to pick up that paintbrush. Jung believed these moments are gold mines for self-discovery, and I couldn't agree more. So, The next time you catch your emotions flaring positive or negative, treat it as a clue, not a verdict. Ask yourself, what exactly am I projecting onto them? Why does this particular trait ignite such a strong reaction in me? What does this reveal about my own unspoken needs or fears? Owning these projections isn't easy. It takes courage to face the parts of ourselves we'd rather leave behind. But in doing so, we reclaim the power we've been handing over to everyone else. Instead of letting other people hijack our emotions, we turn the lens inward and say, "Show me what you want me to see." Remember Jung's wise words, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. By shining light on our projections, we transform confusion into clarity, blame into growth, and isolation into deep self-awareness. Embrace this wild psychological gift. It's your fastest route to genuine connection with both yourself and the people around you. Synchronicity, embracing the magic of meaningful coincidences. Have you ever been struck by the uncanny feeling that you're part of some secret dance between your inner world and the outer one? I know I have, and each time it happens, my heart skips a beat. You think of an old friend you haven't heard from in years, and minutes later, your phone lights up with their name, or you've been carrying a sweet memory of someone in your mind for days, and suddenly, you bump into them on a crowded street corner. It's as if the universe is sending you a playful wink, reminding you that there's more here than mere chance. Carl Jung called these moments synchronicities, events bound together, not by the simple mechanics of cause and effect, but by profound, almost mystical meaning. To him, that perfectly timed text message, or that serendipitous meeting, is a message from the deepest part of your psyche. It's your unconscious mind painting vivid brushstrokes across the canvas of reality, saying, "Pay attention. Something important is unfolding." I'll be honest, when synchronicities first started happening to me, I felt both excited and uneasy. Excited because it felt like destiny was knocking at my door. Uneasy because it challenged everything I thought I knew about how life should work. Why was I thinking about this person right now? What unsaid emotion or fear was bubbling beneath the surface? And why was it demanding to be heard through these uncanny alignments? Jung believed that synchronicity is a kind of cosmic nudge, a call to pause and reflect. When you notice these meaningful coincidences, ask yourself, what emotion was most alive in me just before this happened? What lesson might this person or event be bringing to my attention? Is there a dream, an unresolved wound, or a hidden desire I've been neglecting? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. For me, one unforgettable morning epitomized synchronicity's power. I had been wrestling with a career decision, terrified of leaving my comfort zone, yet yearning for something more meaningful. That afternoon, I ran into a former colleague who'd taken exactly the leap I dreamed of, but was too scared to admit I wanted. Their excitement about the new path they'd forged brought tears to my eyes. It felt like the universe was handing me a mirror, saying, "See what's possible when you dare to follow your heart." It's tempting to dismiss these moments as random luck, but that's like ignoring a love letter because it arrived in a plain envelope. Jung's insight reminds us that synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. When these magical coincidences occur, they're not just pretty surprises, they're invitations to deepen your self-awareness, to honor the whispers of your soul, and to step more fully into the life you were meant to live. So, next time you experience that electrifying chill of synchronicity, don't brush it off. Lean into it. Let yourself marvel at how your inner longings ripple out into the world, creating these beautiful, meaningful intersections. Because in those moments, you're not just observing reality, you're co-creating it. How to decode your thoughts, turning obsession into opportunity. When somebody just won't leave your mind, it can feel maddening, like a song you can't stop humming or an itch you can't quite scratch. But what if I told you that this mental loop isn't a curse, but a hidden gift? Carl Jung's timeless wisdom offers us a practical roadmap to mine these persistent thoughts for personal transformation. I've walked this path myself, and each time I uncover a new layer of my psyche, I feel a thrilling mix of vulnerability and empowerment. Here's how you can do it. Step by step. 1. Reflect. Shine a gentle light on your emotions. Name the feeling. As soon as thoughts of that person arise, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is it a burst of admiration that sends butterflies fluttering through your chest, or a pang of irritation that tightens your throat? Feel the nuance. Don't settle for surface labels like good or bad. Get granular. Maybe it's awe tinged with envy, or soothing nostalgia laced with sadness. Jot these feelings down in a notebook, or whisper them softly to yourself in meditation. Own your truth. This step isn't about blame. It's about compassion, giving yourself permission to feel whatever arises. In my own journey, I've often discovered that the most tender, painful emotions hide beneath my fiercest reactions. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Carl Jung 2. Analyze. Peel back the layers of meaning. Ask the right questions. For each emotion you identify, probe deeper. Why does this inspire me so deeply? Or, what old wound does this irritation echo? Connect the dots. If you're awed by someone's fearlessness, maybe you're silently starving for courage in your own life. If you're stung by their aloofness, perhaps it resurrects a childhood memory of feeling unseen. Use creative tools. I swear by journaling prompts like, when I feel envy, I remember a time or guided visualizations where I step into the other person's shoes and then step back, noticing what parts of my story emerge. This deep dive isn't academic, it's intensely personal. You're excavating your hidden desires and bruises. It's messy, it's beautiful, and it will surprise you. 3. Act. Transform insight into growth. Craft a tiny experiment. If your analysis reveals you crave more creativity, commit to sketching, dancing, or free writing for 5 minutes each day. If it highlights a fear of rejection, reach out to someone with an honest compliment and notice how it feels. Build new patterns. Use these experiments to rewrite the script in your mind. Instead of letting unprocessed emotions loop endlessly, you're giving them a positive outlet, a small action that affirms you're the author of your own story. Celebrate every victory. Even tiny steps deserve recognition. I still remember the first time I mustered the courage to share a vulnerable journal entry. With a friend, I felt a rush of liberation that banished weeks of ruminating thoughts. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Your inner treasure map. Our persistent thoughts aren't nuisances. They're clues on a treasure map leading straight to our most authentic selves. Every emotion you feel when you think of someone is like a compass needle, pointing you toward what's been waiting in the shadows of your unconscious. So, the next time that person inhabits your headspace, don't fight it, welcome it. Reflect with curiosity, analyze with compassion, and act with intention. In doing so, you'll transform mental clutter into a clear, empowering path for growth. After all, the most profound journeys start with a single, sometimes uncomfortable, step inward. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Jungian psychology, exploring the hidden shadow, unraveling projections, marveling at synchronicity, and learning how to decode the thoughts that keep someone living rent-free in your mind. I hope you're walking away with fresh insights and a spark of curiosity about your inner world. Now it's your turn. What's the single most powerful lesson you've learned so far? Drop a comment below, sharing one insight you'll put into practice in your daily life. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.